Hello friends! In this episode, we'll learn about the first step of digestion, that is ingestion. Now, ingestion is the process by which food is taken into the body. When we eat, the teeth in our mouth help to break down the food into smaller pieces. This is called mechanical digestion. And we also know that saliva is secreted by our salivary glands into our mouth while we are eating. In order to push the bolus into the stomach, we need to use the muscles in our throat. These muscles contract to create a wave-like motion. This wave pushes the bolus down into our esophagus. The wave of muscle contraction is called peristalsis. Peristalsis continues until the bolus reaches the stomach. The food needs to be broken down into simpler substances so that the body can absorb the nutrients from it. The stomach helps to break down the food both mechanically and chemically. The stomach has strong muscles. These muscles contract to churn the food. It begins in the mouth with the help of teeth, tongue, and saliva. After ingestion, the food is pushed down the esophagus into the stomach with the help of peristalsis. In the stomach, acids and enzymes break down the food with the help of gastrin hormone. The food is churned for about 2 to 3 hours. After churning, the bolus is converted into a semi-liquid substance called chyme, which is then passed on to the small intestine for further digestion and absorption of nutrients. This churning mixes the food with acids and enzymes present in the stomach. Stay tuned for more amazing videos on health and nutrition. Until then, keep learning and stay healthy. Acids and enzymes break down the food into simpler substances. The stomach also releases a hormone called gastrin. Gastrin stimulates the release of digestive juices and also the churning of the stomach. The acids and enzymes present in the stomach help to digest the proteins in the food. The food is churned for about 2 to 3 hours in the stomach. During this, the bolus becomes a semi-liquid substance called chyme. It helps to make the food particles a little wet so that they can easily pass down our throat into the stomach. The chyme is pushed out of the stomach into the small intestine, where most of the digestion and absorption takes place. Saliva also contains an important enzyme called amylase. This enzyme begins the chemical digestion of starch in the food. Amylase breaks down the starch into simpler sugars. This is how saliva helps in digestion. It starts from the mouth. So let's learn more about it in detail. This is called swallowing or deglutition. It is interesting to note that while we are chewing food, we do not swallow the saliva. We only swallow the food particles along with saliva. Now, this is what happens in our mouth during ingestion. Let's have a look at what happens in other parts of the body after ingestion. The saliva that is not mixed with food is swallowed separately. The first step of ingestion is chewing. After chewing, the food is pushed back into our throat by our tongue. When the food reaches our stomach, it is in the form of a soft ball called the bolus. Friends, once the bolus is pushed into the stomach, the mouth becomes ready to take in another bolus. After ingestion, the food enters the stomach through the esophagus. The inner lining of the esophagus and stomach is made up of muscles. These muscles contract and relax to help push the food down the esophagus into the stomach. Once the food is in the stomach, these muscles relax to let the food pass further. Now, friends, when the food reaches the stomach, it is not in its simplest form. Now, friends, the next step in digestion is the absorption of nutrients. So, to sum it up, we can say that the first step of digestion is ingestion. So, this was all about the first step of digestion, that is ingestion.